What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So I am here to give a little brief synopsis, and if you have not seen the season yet, don't watch this because I'm just giving my opinion on the show. This is She's Gotta Have It season 2. Okay, it came back out on the 24th. Was that this Friday? This past Friday. Yesterday was the 24th. Today is the 25th. Okay. And I made sure I have caught up just about on everything on my DVR just in time so I can binge watch season 2 of She's Got to Have It. I love the first season. And so therefore, I've been wanting more. And let me just tell y'all this. DeWanda Wise as Nola Darling. Okay, listen, DeWanda Wise herself is beautiful as fuck. Okay, she is fine as hell. All right, the skin, everything. It just pops. Okay, and then her eyes. Oh my god, I can just go on and on, but I'm not gonna do that. But bitch, you fine. But anyway, I know you a married man, but let me just tell you this: married man, a married woman or whatever. But is it me or this girl to drop her jaws for a bitch in a minute? Okay, because I seen someone great, another show, movie on Netflix, and she's in that, and she's also playing a lesbian on there, and I was like, what you trying to tell us, girl? But she played well. Maybe she had some experiences back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And she just brought it to life or whatever. Or maybe this is something, she's just good at playing. I don't know. But girl, you doing a good job, okay? Um, moving on. I think they got the perfect person to play Nola Darling, for real, for real. Um, we get to basically, if you saw season 1, what we saw was the buildup of her character, and she's basically this I love any type of person. It's almost like she's a pansexual. Okay. She had um 3 lovers. Was it 3? Actually 4. Okay. She had Mars. He was the goofy young boy, can't really be serious, but can sometimes, but mostly just goofy and silly and all that. Then you had Greer, who was like this model type, very metrosexual. You can call him a little bit feminine, but I just call that metrosexual. He's all about himself and looking nice and dressing nice and, being perfectly coiffed and all of that. Um, you know, uh, and then you had Jamie, who was married to this lady named Cheryl, and they had a son named Virgil. Okay. And, he was a businessman. And so she had all of them as lovers. And then she had Opal. Okay. Opal was the only woman that she had. Okay. And, you know, I didn't know or realize that they were gonna, because at first they tried to make it work, but then it didn't, and so I didn't think that they were gonna revisit it until I seen season 2. All right, and season 2, you know, she comes back on and she is in a relationship with Opal. Okay, season 2 takes place 18 months after season 1. All right, and so with the first episode, it's only 9 episodes. That's the only drawback of it. Last season had 10 episodes. I could have did another episode, but beggars can't be choosers, so we're just gonna let it rock the way that it's rocking. The first episode, I'm feeling my feelings. It's 18 months later, like I said, and Nola and Opal are together, and she's in this committed relationship. Now, Nola, at one point, that's probably why she was doing what she was doing, because she could not commit. And she was one of those people that, she want what she want, how she wanted it, and didn't see nothing wrong with it. And I didn't find nothing wrong with it either. Some people aren't meant to be in committed relationship, but she gave it a chance with Opal, and they did what they had to do. I said, wait a minute, 4 minutes into the first episode, and you get in a little scene from Opal and and Nola that I truly appreciated. I was like, ooh. Okay, of course, I rewinded it a couple of times. I was like, that is beautiful. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They had a little sex scene and whatever. It was cute. It was cute. I liked it. And as the we get that storyline. Also we see that Mars, he gets lost out of a job. Okay, he was working at Chang's. Is it Joey Chang's? And it's a bike shop. And he gets to work and the work is closed down. And if you've seen season one was all about gentrification. Okay, gentrification, how Harlem, Brooklyn, everything is becoming gentrified. And because of the fact that you have this white oh my god, wait till we get on that episode. I can't remember what episode it was. I'm just gonna go by what I remember. Okay, fuck going by episode by episode. um because it was 9 episodes, and it was a lot of stuff that I cared for and didn't really care for, but I'm just hit on some key points. Let's just talk about the gentrification right quick. Okay, you got Nola's friend Clorinda, okay? Clorinda. And we're gonna call her Chloe. Clorinda. That's her name. We're gonna call her Chloe. Okay. She's fucking around with this dude who's a developer, white developer named Danton. Okay, Danton. And he has this new company called Amistad Development or some shit like that. Breaking the chains and shit like that. I said, bitch, you are his token black. Okay? And he kept saying throughout the series when stuff happened, Nola putting stuff on her Instagram, people protesting about, him coming in because his company is the one that closed down Joey Chang because of the simple fact that they kept raising the prices of the place and they lost their lease. Okay, therefore Mars was out of a job, so he's couch surfing. He does end up with Clorinda on her couch. He does stay at Nola's place for a minute. We see that whole aspect of it. We'll get to him in a second, but this whole thing about everything being taken and price being pushed up and black folks, minority folks, the Hispanics, the Latin community that's there being pushed out of their own community, and for these high rises and for these higher prices for these coffee shops and stuff like that. And it was just ridiculous. And every time something went wrong, he would always tell Chloe, you are my community service, representative or whatever. You the one that's supposed to smooth this over with the people, with your people and all this stuff. And at one point, she was like, is that all I am to you? I was like, no, but I said, girl, yes, if you have to ask the question, you already know the answer. And he's been showing you that's what it is. And eventually, he played her ass. He played her ass because he couldn't get it to go the way that she wanted. He couldn't get the negative press to go away because what you're doing is fucked up. You're pushing these poor people out of their neighborhood and hiking up all these prices, and you're part of the problem. Okay, moving on from that. Speaking of Mars, and we just gonna keep on with Chloe because their timeline kind of intertwines too. He wants to do music now, and if that was really him singing that song that he sang at the Hot and Trot, that was beautiful as shit. That was beautiful as hell. And it came at a time after, I believe, when Chloe and him wind up hooking up. They wind up hooking up. Okay? And, she gets upset with him and said, you fucked around with my best friend when I was pregnant. And he was like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that you was pregnant and you didn't tell me? Because I'm one of those feminists and I don't want people to think this way. I don't give a fuck what people would have said. I wouldn't have thought no way about you, but you can do whatever you want with your body and all this stuff, whatever. But you at least could have told me. Okay? And he was upset. He was upset. I ain't never seen Mars so serious on the show. Okay? I said that's fucked up. That was really fucked up. Chloe had such a nasty attitude and disposition about her. She was so shady to me. She's one of those friends that if you don't do stuff her way, she gonna be a bitch about it. When Shemeka had that little party and it was for her new project line, she was being very sarcastic, very nice, nasty about it. And I'm so glad they called her ass out on it. Okay? And like Nola said, sometimes you cannot be friends and do business with them at the same time because it don't mix in certain situations. Sometimes people can make that work, and sometimes you just have to be either or. Okay, so Nola chose to just be friends with her at this point. Nola still is all about her art. Okay, she's not with, like I said, she was with Opal. She still talks to Greer. Like, he became like a really good friend. Greer is also in another relationship, and Greer and they just too damn pretty. Like, oh, you one of my favorite episodes that I did like. I like the Puerto Rico episode. I love the fact about this show that they put in facts and history that people don't necessarily talk about. They put in facts and things that happen already, currently, that's going on, current issues. You got the gentrification issues. You got the gun violence issues. You got Prince death. They had the Prince rally. You have issue about feminism, about sexual harassment and things about that. That's what Nola made her campaign off of. My name isn't. And that whole thing happened, and so given on that campaign, she got picked up by, and this is one of the things that Chloe actually did for her. She got picked up and wanted by this streaming company, Airwave, and they wanted to use her my campaign, my name isn't, thing as part of their campaign, and she really didn't want to do it because she felt it was like selling out. And so, she was talking to her therapist, and she was like, "Did you even go up there and you talk to them, and see what they had to say?" And so, how can you determine what it is if you haven't even talked to them and listened to what they had to say? And so, the black girl that was the head of the whole campaign thing, she made it seem as if she was gonna give her freedom to do whatever she wanted, show her this, show her that, and get her approval before go up to this. And they wound up coming to a conclusion and agreement on some of the stuff. And then once she saw the campaign out there, it was totally different from what she wanted. Okay, she wanted color, vibrancy, and showing that we are all together and not to be, looked down upon or whatever. But then they put it in black and white. They didn't use her part. They changed the background to black and white and all this stuff, and they put Nola's name all over it. And she just didn't feel right about it, and she told old girl had to eat crow too, because she said, "I thought I had control, but obviously I didn't. It was a front." I said, "So both of y'all got played, basically." All right. The whole thing with Shameka went on ahead, and and also they were dealing with body issues, because Shameka in the first season, she went and got the booty implants, the injections in the hotel room by that lady. And then this season, she was dealing with the after effect after her booty explode, trying to get her body back into shape. And it's 18 months later, and she's still dealing with the pain of it, her legs swelling up if she stands up too long. And she's not working at the Hot to Trot no more. She's working as a shampoo girl. She got her own products that she's trying to ship off. She's trying to feel good about herself, and she's not quite there. And then you have Winnie, played by Fat Joe, who is coming in trying to show her and shower her with love, and she just can't allow herself to take that love just yet. Okay. She's trying to get there, but she hasn't got there all the way yet. She do set up a sting operation with the police to catch old girl who did her ass. Mind you, the girl didn't even remember her. Okay. And so, that was her little story. The whole thing with Jamie and Cheryl, they're getting a divorce, okay? But they fucked around and fucked each other. All right? And he ain't say nothing to her afterwards. Then with Opal's daughter Scarlett and Jamie's son Virgil goes to the same school. They're actually friends, okay? Nola comes up there and picks up Scarlett and, says hi to Virgil because they introduced her, Scarlett introduced her to him and all that stuff. And then, when Cheryl comes up there to get Virgil, she sees Cheryl. She don't know who Cheryl is. Never met Jamie's wife or nothing like that. Seen a picture of him, but knew that he was married. Never met his kid and all that stuff, but knew that he was married and had a kid and all that. But so when she saw them, she really didn't know who they were. But Cheryl kind of had it in her mind, because remember that painting that he gave, that Nola had gave him, and he had hanging in the house. She remembered how she looked from the picture. And so She went over there to her and was like, you fucking my husband, you a home wrecker, you a hoe, you this and you that, and I beat your ass and doing all this disgusting shit. And I said, bitch, you better be glad that you got the right black, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You would have came up on the wrong bitch. I don't care if the kids was there, they would have fucked your ass up. And Cheryl deserved to get her ass fucked up. Okay? The whole time Cheryl pissed off about Jamie fucking around with Nola. Mind you, this shit happened a long time ago, 18 months ago. He ain't even fucking around with the girl no more. But you over here fucking around with some other dude named Andy, who they had, Jamie had when people beat him up. Okay? Mind you, you getting jewelry from this, and Cartier bracelets and necklaces and stuff, and you're upset that your husband was fucking around. Okay, she thought that he was still fucking, but she wasn't. He wasn't. But you're in the process of doing so. So both of y'all are doing wrong. You're both fucking around on each other, or have fucked around on each other. Two wrongs really don't make a right. So, the boy, oh my goodness. They had the kids reading the adults, okay? Virgil, when he sat down and he gave that speech to his mama and his daddy, and he told them, y'all two need to figure this out. I love both of y'all, because I need somebody that's going to put me together when y'all both rip me apart. I said, oh my God, that line stuck with me. I said, you know what, these kids, y'all just don't understand. Y'all get into these relationships and stuff happen, and it's not just you that be affected, it's the kids. They see what's going on, okay? He was like, am I not supposed to call you dad anymore? He was like, was the sex that good to fuck up the family? I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Girl, then little Scarlett go over there to Nola house talking about some bitch. So did you fuck the family? Did you fuck him and you know about this and all this shit? I said, little girl, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Okay? But, Cheryl and Jamie came to a conclusion that they needed to work together for the betterment of their son. Okay? Because he told their ass, y'all need to figure this shit out for me, bitch. Okay? Figured it out. I'm finna go make me a turkey and swish sandwich. Okay? That's what I'm about to go do. Alright? Sit down. You want anything? Okay, you don't? Talk it out. I said, oh, okay, little boy. Cool. So, this whole thing with Nola still is on the path of trying to find herself. She's still somewhat lost. Okay. When they took the trip to Puerto Rico, she told Mars' mother that Mars and his sister had a problem with the lease at the apartment that they were staying at, and they wanted the mom to sign it over to them so that they could stay, because at one point they both got evicted, and the sister did kick him out as soon as he lost his job, which I don't necessarily think I would have done that, because he lost his job and it's not his fault that he lost his job. But maybe she thought she was trying to teach him a lesson to make him grow up, because he is kind of young-minded. And so when he was in Chloe's bathroom singing this that shit was hilarious. But anyway, they went to Puerto Rico to see the mom, and I love the fact that when they first of all in the show they mentioned Junior Guzman, the boy that got killed, that was attacked for no reason because it was a false identity, wrong identity. Remember Junior? They mentioned a whole bunch of shit that was going on. And also when they got into Puerto Rico, they were talking about the hurricane efforts, and how the island was already messed up prior to the hurricane effort, and they talked about the Africans and the blackness that was brought to the island as well. Okay, they was giving us a fucking history lesson, and it was so beautiful. We heard about Oshan and all these other gods, and that they are African gods, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. That was my favorite episode of this season, was when they went to Puerto Rico. Okay, y'all know I always want to go to Puerto Rico. That's one of the places that I have to go to for some reason. I just always wanted to go to Puerto Rico. And it was just so beautiful to me. And then when they had that dance and Nola was just becoming free from it and all, and she's still trying to find herself, and she got, this is after she got invited to that retreat for the artists or whatever, and I felt bad for her when they were showing her work around. Everybody was going in debt about their work, and she had this self-portrait, and people really was looking like, girl, this is the best that you can come up with. You in the upper echelon of painters and photographers and people like that, and this is the best that you can do. And then that white boy Onyx, she cussed him out and called him out and got her stipend taken away. But I would have rather did that, and he sent it to Spelman. He was doing that to be shady, but also, he felt like he helped put her on the map or lit the fire under her. Um, and the whole thing, well, this whole relationship. Let me just get on this relationship with Opal and Nola. They irritate me. It's literally opposite attracts. I wanted them to be together so bad. Not just because the lesbian thing or whatever, but just because it seemed like they were good for each other. Maybe she can, put a little structure in Nola life because she's so free spirited and she's so all over the place, and you know but with Opal, she's so controlling. And that's a good and a bad thing. Like, she's so controlling and she's so authoritative in everything. She had an issue with the fact that, and she's so overly protective of her daughter, and she didn't want them to be looked at as if the daughter was having two moms. Okay, she didn't want Nola to have that much influence on her daughter, but it's not Nola's fault that the daughter naturally gravitated towards Nola like a big sister. That's how she was talking to her and always going off with her and all this stuff. And it just irritated me, the way that she would get upset. And I'm talking about Opal when it comes to the daughter and the child thing. Like, Nola was really over here trying to purposely take her daughter away from her. It's almost as if she was in her feelings and thinking that her daughter would try to love her, will begin to love Nola more than she loved her. You know what I'm saying? And so it was irritating to see that aspect about it. But when they worked, they worked. And it's a lot of couples that's like that. And, I just felt like Nola was like too free spirited for Opal. And it was almost as if, like, she asked, "Are you my mother?" She was like, "Well, are you a child? Are you my child?" You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Ooh, that was deep." Y'all tell me how y'all felt about that dynamic between Opal and, Nola. Did you understand that and where it was coming from? Um, Nola finally put on her big showcase, and it was this big hype around what was going on, the painting or whatever that was behind the curtain. And you saw people go in, all her friends, and at this point again, like, once again, we have another episode where all of her lovers are there supporting her. Because at one point, Opal and Nola broke up. And she broke up with her ass at Coney fucking Island. Okay? I said, bitch, really? Really? Every time she go to Coney Island now, she gonna have to think about this goddamn breakup. And she was so heartbroken. And I felt like they hit the nose on the head with that. Hit the head on the nose on the head, whatever. Hit it on the nose. With that, about how it is when you lose somebody, when you are heartbroken, when you finally allowed yourself to love and to feel, and then it just blows up in your face, and you just feel like you can't do anything. You're just mad at the world, and you're mad at yourself, you're mad at that person, and you like, damn, I'm over here crying, and I'm over here feeling this way for this person, and I bet you they ain't feeling a damn thing for me. Are they missing me as much as I'm missing them? Why don't they reach out and all that stuff? I said, oh my God, that was a little deep. That was a little deep. Okay, don't do that. But yeah, but she got all her people there to come there and support her, and each person come out there and they had their different reactions and stuff to what was going on. It was good to see Divine help her. Okay, he was the friend that was the little bum or whatever with the cart. The other struggling artist, that the white lady called the cops on, and they even had a little interaction. Bianca. She was like, everybody hates me. Because, yeah, bitch, you called the cops on them for what? Because you accused him of putting that G on the fucking stoop and it wasn't him. And because it popped back up as soon as he went to jail. I thought they were just going to give you a little slap on the wrist and let you go. He's a black man, okay? He's a black man. He's not going to get a slap on the wrist, okay? That's not what's happening. But anyway, he helped her put the show together, and he was out here for what she did with the portrait or whatever. of her basically in a star painted in the flag and was basically hanging by her braids as a noose. And Shemeka, she was very disturbed by it and she wasn't here for it. Um, you know, a lot of the people was not necessarily here for it, but they said that they was okay. You had one artist that basically was trying to block people way into seeing it, and trying to put her on Front Street, but yet it did nothing but get her more views on it. And her friend Shemeka was like, listen, I'm telling you to your face instead of telling it to your back. He's saying, ha ha ha, yeah, it's cute or whatever, but talking shit about it behind your back that you was fucked up about this. You don't know this type of hurt and all this stuff. It's like she was internalizing the hurt, okay, that others went through and that she went through, and people saw the painting different. Like, they saw their hurt in there and their struggle and their pain and felt like, she was throwing it back in their face because the thing was called In the Mirror or I Am the Mirror or something like that. And so that basically, once you see that portrait, I guess you're supposed to see what you saw, like this your pain, your hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's how I want to end the video. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about that painting? Did you agree with it? Was you not here for it? Did you get where she was coming from? Was they making it too much of a big deal about it? But yeah, I would like to know your opinion. The overall, I like the season. I really love the season. That boy Olu, when he was saying that stuff about the difference between blacks in Europe and blacks over here, and oh, we not as impressed over there in Europe. I said, boy, when she called him out, I said, thank you. But then when he went up there to get that speech and that girl asked, do you have a girlfriend and can I get with you? She was like, no, I'm not in a relationship. Mind you, Nola was right there and they just got through fucking. And she was like, her and Chloe said, you ready to go? And they bounced. I said, you know what? A mess. Mind you, he was at that retreat. Painting in his little glass box, bucket ass naked. I said, what? All right. You had a lot of cameos. You had Fat Joe in this. Roletta Moss, the teacher, the guy that played her husband slash boyfriend or whoever he was, he played on Scandal. He was one of Olivia's exes, the one that looked like Bill Cosby, like he finna say, I want some pudding pop. Him. Who else was up in here? Rosie Perez played Mars' mother. Oh my God, who else was in here? It was a lot of people. I said, I know you, Terry fucking Silvers from Power. He was in it and everything. I said, this your role. Little bougie bitch. But everybody did a good job. You guys tell me how you felt about the show, and I will see you guys later. If you have not watched it, go watch it. Go binge watch it. It's only like 30 some minute episodes, okay? Not really long. You can watch it in a day, in a few hours, half the day, and you'll still be on to the next. But y'all tell me how y'all feeling, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.